we in New York City have decided to use a preemptive strike to really do something bold to stop the further growth of COVID and the dangers it's causing to all of us. So as of today, we're going to announce a first-in-the-nation measure. Our health commissioner will announce a vaccine mandate for private sector employers across the board. All private sector employers in New York City will be covered by this vaccine mandate as of December 27th. We're going to have some other measures as well to really focus on maximizing vaccination quickly so we can get ahead of Omicron and all the other challenges we're facing right now.
New York, you voted for this man. You did this. All right, there's no one to blame but yourselves at this point. All right, I'm tired of saying get out of the cities. I keep saying that in all these videos. I'm tired of saying it. You've decided to stay there. You've decided to live there. You've decided to put this man in office. You've decided to give this man power. I got no sympathy anymore. I just don't. All right. Right now, New York has made it now impossible for someone like, especially me, whose doctor said not to get the vaccine because of pre-existing medical conditions, mainly because I've already had COVID. So I already had the antibodies, so we didn't really see a point to it for me. Maybe not for you, but for me. YouTube, hear me out here. I'm saying it's only for me. My doctor, my specialist, my healthcare specialist said for me not to get the vaccine. Yet, New York City's new mandate says vaccines must be for children and private sector employees at this point, for all of them. For all of them. That's how far they've gone. It is no more, well, let's try to work with and see what we can kind of do, which was already BS in the first place. No, now they're just going to fly out saying that, listen, if you want to exist in New York City, you have to have the jab. Listen, I used to like New York. I really did. I'm saying this as someone who lived in the middle of nowhere my whole life and still prefers to be in the middle of nowhere. I love going to New York City with my dad and going to see some boxing matches and stuff like that. It actually is a fun place, all right? Broadway is kind of cool, right? There's some really cool places near Broadway. And Times Square is kind of neat. Central Park is pretty amazing. You know, going to see the One World Trade Center, that was amazing, especially since, I remember as a small child seeing, what happened on 9/11. New York is not actually that bad of a place, or it used not to be that bad of a place. Used to not be that bad of a place. But my last trip to New York, man, I saw people injecting themselves with drugs in Times Square, and the cops didn't do jack. I saw the cops, however, roll up on a party that took place one story up from where we were, at least where we had our office, with like 6 SUVs and bust down the door of some people because they had to get together that was more than like 3 or 4 people. Well, it was only like 12 people. They just got together. I smelled like they were, smoking a bit of weed or something like that, but that was about it. And they kicked down the door of these people and arrested them all. The guy injecting drugs on the side of the street near Times Square, not a damn thing. People want to get together just to say hi. Oh, we're going to roll up there with multiple SUVs and just hassle you like crazy. New York is a terrible hellhole at this place. And now, the New York City mayor has decided to put a mandate in, again, for children 5 to 11 have to get vaccinated. We'll just read through here because this stuff is just nuts. So, now that children have been approved to receive the mRNA vaccine from Pfizer, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio has extended his demand that New Yorkers get vaccinated to that age group as well. While schools have not made the vaccine mandatory for 5 to 11 years old, de Blasio has declared that children too must now show proof of their COVID vaccination before they are allowed to dine indoors or attend entertainments. Children will have to show that they've had at least 1 dose of Pfizer, according to NBC. Children 5 to 11. They are not the at-risk group. Now, reality is you shouldn't be able to force people to inject anything into their body, period. But even if you're going to make the argument, 5 to 11 are not the ones who are most at risk of COVID. It just isn't the case. We now know this to be a fact. All right, the reality is, for whatever reason, COVID kind of doesn't do much to children, but does quite a bit to people who are elderly, overweight, and have a lot of pre-existing conditions. Typically, children are pretty healthy lung-wise, I guess. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Of course, not saying COVID isn't deadly. I know people who have died from COVID. However, when you look at the stats, COVID is not a big thing for anyone under the age of like 18. It just isn't the case. It just is not even remotely. The flu is more dangerous for 5 to 11 years old. There I said, the flu is more dangerous for 5 to 11-year-old. Now, COVID is more dangerous for adults. But when it comes to 5 to 11 years old, the flu is more dangerous. We now know this. We now know this to be a fact. According to the CDC, it is a fact. So why are we mandating vaccines for 5 to 11 years old when we don't even have the long-term studies on what this does? Again, more than likely it does nothing. More than likely the vaccines are just fine. Hear that, YouTube? I'm saying it again. More than likely the vaccines are good. However, it is worth saying we don't have long-term studies, and so we should be careful. We should take precautions. If 5 to 11-year-olds are not at risk, why on earth would we experiment on them by forcing them to get a vaccine they don't really need? Again, if you're if you're older, then hey, and really even then, talk to your doctor. Just talk to your doctor. That's a safe one that everyone says, but frankly is the truth. My doctor told me not to get the vaccine because of my conditions, like I said before. However, your doctor might say something different. Talk to a doctor. But that's just it. It should be up to you and a doctor, not the mayor of New York City, who's on a power trip at this point. So as we go down here, we've got Omicron as a new factor. We've got colder weather, which is going to really create additional challenges with the Delta variant, de Blasio said. We've got holiday gatherings. We in New York City have decided to use a preemptive strike to really do something bold to stop the further growth of COVID and the dangers it is causing all of us. Listen, Omicron, as far as we know, according to the person who discovered Omicron, it gives you the sniffles. Omicron, so far, is less deadly than the flu, as far as we know. We should be thankful for this. That should be the headline for everything involving Omicron, is that, guess what, guys? A new variant has finally come up that's very transmissible, but doesn't do anything. That's what we should be saying. Yes, it can. Yes, if you have a ton of pre-existing conditions, it can probably do something to you. And there's the off chance it might hurt you, pretty badly, even if you're healthy. The off chance. But the reality is, according to the person who discovered Omicron, they've had 0 hospitalizations for it. And it's been nothing more than a regular flu, basically. Which is good, which is great. That's how diseases normally evolve. They don't want to kill you. Diseases want to stay inside you to live. If they kill you, they die too. So it's great that a variant has finally come up that is so non-lethal. So that if people we can still get herd immunity without tons of people dying. So him using Omicron for this is total BS. Now the colder weather, yes, it's probably going to result in more COVID being spread. Holiday gatherings, yeah, sure, probably a little bit more being spread. But it does not give you the authority to force people against their will to get vaccinated for any medical condition or any medical treatment at all. You just don't have that right. Period. So as of today, we're going to announce the first in the nation measure. Our health commissioner will announce the vaccine mandate for private sector employees across the board. He said all private sector employees in New York City will be covered by the vaccine mandate as of December 27th. We're going to have some other measures as well and really focus on maximizing vaccinations quickly so we can get ahead of Omicron and the other challenges we're facing now with COVID. Listen, I don't want to go into too much detail with every last thing he said, because this will be a long video, but here's all we need to know. If you want to exist in New York City, they are basically forcing you to get vaccinated. They are just one little step away from just saying to just live there, to just have a house and just to rent, you must be vaccinated. I mean, they're really pushing the boundaries as far as they possibly can. They're almost at Australia levels, basically, at this point. Right? And it would not be surprising at all if they start saying, you know what, we're going to keep you in this camp that we built over here, a little bit outside the city. It would not be surprising one bit at this point. This is how authoritarian they have become. But maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this will wake people up. Maybe this, I keep saying, maybe wake people up, and it doesn't seem to do it, but maybe this will. Maybe this will actually let people realize how terrible these authoritarians really are. The left has control of the cities. And these cities are typically hellholes. Let them wallow in what they have wrought, right? Let them reap what they have sown. Let them experience what it is they wish to push on the rest of the country. Let them deal with it. I don't live there. I take it you probably don't live there. So let them deal. Why do we care? Why do we care that they chose to do this? And I will still say this, they chose this mayor. They chose this lifestyle. They chose to live in New York City. And with everything that went by on the past year, they chose to stay. Now, they choose to obey. They choose to be obedient. They choose to follow the mandates. So long as you choose to do these things, I have no urge to help. I have no urge to feel pity for you. And I see all these businesses popping up saying, this will destroy us. Oh God, this will destroy us. So don't do it. Get thrown in jail. You chose to be here. Either you fight for what you believe in or you leave. I think either or is a respectable move, to be honest. But don't sit there, whine and bitch, and then sit and try to work within that system. All right, you can't work within an authoritarian system. It just doesn't happen, because no matter how hard you work, they can just press right down on you to stop you. The people of New York have allowed this to happen. Not only have they allowed it to happen, but they have been complicit in it happening. So until they do something about it, until they really start pushing the boundaries when it comes to their protesting and what they're doing, I got no pity for them. Until your businesses start saying screw you to the mayor and kicking the officers out of the building, I got no respect for you. I just don't. You've had a year to get out of there. You've had a year to move. And yet you chose to stay there. You chose to live in the hellhole that is New York City at this point. A place that I used to really enjoy going to, that now I will probably, not only will I not go willingly, but I just couldn't go even if I wanted to. You chose to be there. It's on you. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes maybe for them to start standing up. But what do you think? Will this actually wake people up? I would like to say yes, but to be honest, I see them bowing down and just licking the boot like always. That's what I think. But what do you think? Will this actually wake them up? Leave a comment below. As well as, of course, if you've enjoyed this video, hey, thumbs up. Really helps out a lot. Helps spread the video. Helps help out the channel quite a bit. As well as if you have not subscribed already, you watched this far, man. I mean, come on. Clearly you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and subscribe. Hit the red button below. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Try to make at least one video every weekday, sometimes two, like we did today. So, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be talking again real soon.